All right. You guys ready for this story time? I think it's time for story time. Please send cookies. And we shall begin. And I will tell the story with Cookie Monster as well on my shirt. So like him. So recently, a while back, I had this young lady over visiting, and we were, just hanging out and having a good time, doing what grown-ups do and stuff. And so I got busy. I was upstairs. I was actually upstairs in my office doing some work, and I was up here working. And so I'm working, and I was working real late, so it's middle of the night, and my son's asleep, obviously, and she had, I was up here working, she had stayed the night, so I go downstairs assuming she's probably gonna be asleep, and so I go into my bedroom, and this beautiful young lady is there asleep in my bed. And first of all, so I come in my room, right? I come in my room, and now this girl, guys, she knows which side of the bed is my side, okay? Like, this isn't like the kind of thing where she just doesn't know, okay? She knows, all right? And would you believe it? She is passed out, fast asleep, laying right in my spot in the bed. I got a big old giant king size bed. Can comfortably fit 12 starving chimpanzees from Zimbabwe. But no. Did I say pansies? I meant chimpanzees. I don't know. I don't remember. But so Hansa said, so you threw her down on the ground and lied on your half, right? Not exactly. That was my first thought. My first thought was like, well, if I just get in, I can just like kick her out of the bed, and do it that way, right? So she's laying there in my bed, and I'm sitting here going, okay, what do I do, right? Do I go sleep on the other side of the bed? No, I'm not gonna go sleep on the other side of the bed. That's my side. That's the side I like to sleep on, right? And plus, it's the side closer to the door. And I'm the kind of guy I was always raised. I guess I don't know if I was raised, but I raised myself in this kind of classical gentleman way where I'm like, I sleep closest to the door. You know what I mean? If somebody breaks into my house, I'm gonna grab my pistol and I'm gonna be, right there. So I decided to wake her up. All right, I decided to wake her up. Okay. Equal rights, equal lights. Equal rights, equal sides of the bed. Okay? So, you want equality? You lay on your half of the bed. We never think cute. I guess I'll lie on the other side today. Nah, exactly. No. So, I'm strategizing. I'm like, how do I do this, right? So, what I did is I decided I quietly, I walk up to her, and I gently, I lean over, and I pull the covers down a little bit, and I say, "Hey, asshole! Get out of my bed!" Just kidding. That is not what I did. Had you guys for a second there, though. Gamer said I would have went to the other side. That's sweet of you, man. That's very kind of you. And I feel you on that, but it is not this day. This day we fight! So, alright, so here's what I did, truthfully, guys. This is what happened, okay? So I go up, right, and I push her little hair back, and I lean in, I kiss her on the forehead, and I'm like, hey, and I shake her a little bit, and I'm very sweetly like, hey, wake up, and she wakes up, and I'm like, hey, can you scoot over a little bit, because you're kind cockeyed over on my side of the bed, and I can't really get in bed. And you know, girls these days, man. Girls these days are weird, man. And I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love them. You know. And this particular one, she's a very awesome person. She's a very sweet girl, and she's an amazing young lady. But when I say they're weird, right? So, guys, so I get her. She's kind of, you know when they're like you're asleep and somebody wakes you up and you're like, huh, what? You know, and she's like not fully there, and she's like, huh? And I'm like, no, hey, can you roll over for me a little bit? You know, can you? And so she's like, you know, she kind of gets what I'm saying. She's like, oh, okay, yeah. And she kind of rolls over and like lays back, and her like palms open up. Guys, I kid you not. Her palms open up. There's this girl. She's been asleep in my bed for hours. Okay, I've been working. Like I said, I wake her up and ask her to roll over. She rolls over. When she rolls over, she lays on her back, and her little palms open up. And she is holding a rock. This girl fell asleep holding a like teal green rock in her hand. And I'm like, what? Like, I just don't even, like, I don't even know what to, I'm like, okay. So I think about it for a second. I'm like, all right, this must be one of those like healing crystal energy thing. I don't know. Okay, I don't know, but I'm like, all right. For whatever reason, yeah. Tags like murder weapon. And so basically, it's a rock. It's literally this like teal green rock. And she's like, it's like in her hand. And I'm like, this chick fell asleep holding a rock, like clutching that shit too. Like this was not like she was like playing with a rock, watching a movie, and she like fell asleep, you know, or like she was like, right? Okay. And I thought that was crazy. Right? I thought that was in my half of the bed too, exactly. But you guys think that's the end of the story? No. Okay? Because so when I see this, I reach down in her hand to take this rock out, right? Because I'm like, well, I'm not gonna sleep in bed with like a rock. It's a big rock, you know? And I take the rock out, and like when I removed that rock, remember I'm talking to her before, and she's like, what? Right? As soon as I moved that rock from her hand, dude, I swear to God, it was like Chucky or something. Like her eyes just, and I was like, it was like, I was like, oh shit, you fell asleep with a rock in your hand. And she was like, yeah, it's healing, or something like. And I just like, I busted out laughing. I was like, what? Healing? It's a healing rock. Okay. And she's like, whatever, you know, she kind of chuckles, right? And at this point, I'm like, this is fucking wild, right? So I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna put it over here. So I sit the rock down on my nightstand. So I sit the rock down over here, and I look back. And when I look back, she rolls over again. So she was, on her back. So she rolls over again on her side. Guys, I kid you not. Directly underneath this 5 foot, 105, 110 pound little nothing female, directly underneath the middle of her back where she was sleeping, right there in my spot in the bed, is another big ass jagged rock. I shit you not. This girl fell asleep with a little rock in her hand, and that was crazy enough. But then I take the rock and I go to put it away, and she rolls over on her side into the baby spoon position, and there's a big ass rock right where she was just fucking laying. Like, sleeping on it. And at this point, I'm like, what the fuck? And she rolls that head back over real fast, and I was like, are you sleeping on a fucking rock? And she busts out laughing, and I'm like, dude. She's like, stop, it's for crystal healing energy. And I was like, dude, this is the wildest shit that I have ever seen. You mean to tell me that you fell asleep in my bed, not only holding a rock, but I said, listen, sweetheart, have you ever heard the story of the Princess and the Pea? She was like, oh, and I go, you know, the one where the princess is so, fair and gentle that when she falls asleep in bed, if there's even a little pea under the mattress, she can feel it. And she was like, oh my God. And I reached down and I picked this sucker up and I said, this is how I know you're not a princess. And this is the actual rock that this crazy ass woman was literally asleep on, digging into the spine of her back. That's my story. I understand sleeping, I understand rocks, but my half is my half.